Last Sunday, Neymar starred in one of the most spectacular moments of Brazilian football in 2025. The star, who returned to Santos after more than a decade shining in Europe, showed that his genius is intact by scoring an Olympic goal against Inter de Limeira. In just half an hour of play, in addition to the iconic goal, the number 10 also distributed 2 assists, setting fire to the match and reigniting the debate. Is Neymar still the best player currently playing in Brazil? The answer seems obvious. Neymar not only remains the best player in the country, but he is playing such above-average football that if he wanted to, he could return to Europe and still be a protagonist at any big club. He is outstanding in Brazilian football. His technique, vision of the game, and decision-making capacity remain at a much higher level than other athletes in the country, and this was evident in his magical performance against Inter de Limeira. Neymar's Olympic goal quickly went viral. Newspapers around the world covered the story, but one of the highlights came from Marca, one of the most traditional sports vehicles in Spain. The Madrid newspaper, which closely followed the star's rise at Barcelona, highlighted the Brazilian's phenomenal performance, calling it half an hour of a dream. The move happened in a cinematic way. Neymar positioned the ball at the corner flag, did his classic concentrated breathing, and, with a masterful touch, placed the ball in the corner, without giving the opposing goalkeeper a chance. The stadium collapsed. It was a goal that recalled the times of Pelé and the magical moments that Neymar himself provided to Santos fans in the past. This was only the star's second goal since his return to peaks. The first took place on February 16th against Água Santa in a penalty kick. But the way the number 10 scored his first goal on his return made all the difference. He showed that he is still capable of deciding games and creating brilliant plays. The discussion about who is the greatest player in Brazilian football today gained even more strength with Neymar's performance. Many believed that, after serious injuries and complicated seasons in Europe, the star would no longer be the same. But his performance against Inter de Limeira was a direct response to any skepticism. If we compare Neymar with the main players playing in Brazil today, the Santos star's technical superiority is evident. No other player in the country has the same repertoire of dribbling, passing, and finishing that Neymar does. In fact, what is clear is that Neymar is still far above Brazilian football. He doesn't seem like a player who returned to the country because he was in decline. On the contrary, the number 10 continues to have an exceptional reading of the game, a unique ability to unbalance matches, and a technical influence far superior to his opponents. If he decided to return to Europe, he would still have space at big clubs. The impact of Neymar's return is something that few players in the world can make. Since its announcement, Santos has seen its number of members skyrocket. In 3 months, the club jumped from 33,000 to 75,000 members, an absurd growth. The Neymar effect is already being felt on and off the field. Given the level that Neymar is presenting, the big question that arises is, should he remain in Brazil or consider a return to Europe? If we're just going to analyze football, there is no doubt. Neymar still has a lot to offer European football. Even after a series of injuries in recent years, his technical quality remains impressive. If he returned to a competitive club in the Premier League, La Liga, or even the Italian Serie A, he would be fully capable of fighting for titles and being one of the team's protagonists. His talent was not lost with time. Neymar still has the ability to play at a high level in the world's top leagues. The performance at Santos itself serves as proof of this. He is playing loose, comfortable, and dominating opponents with the same ease as in his heyday. The only issue that could weigh on a possible return to Europe is the physical aspect, but if he is in good condition, Neymar can easily be a key player in any elite team. The president of Santos, Marcelo Teixeira, stated that the club will do everything possible to keep Neymar until the 2026 World Cup. In principle, the striker's contract with Peaks runs until June 2025, but there is a clear desire from the board and fans for the star to extend his stay. However, the possibility of Neymar returning to Europe is still real. According to ESPN, the striker plans to hear proposals from European clubs in the middle of the year. And honestly, there is no reason why these proposals won't arrive. Neymar continues to play at a high level, and any team in need of a creative and decisive attacking midfielder should consider signing him. Neymar's Olympic goal reopened a debate that has always been present in his career. Is he still the protagonist of Brazilian football? Some critics say that the number 10 has already reached its peak and that his return to Brazil is a setback. Others, however, see the situation differently. The truth is that Neymar continues to be one of the best players in the world, and the impression he gives at Santos is that he still has a lot to deliver at the highest level. His return to Brazil may be a personal and emotional project, but it does not mean that his international career is over. Brazilian football has always had its heroes and villains, but it is undeniable that Neymar is one of the most talented players the country has ever produced. His return to Santos, whether for a year or until 2026, represents a special moment for national football. And if anyone still doubts his quality, just watch the great goal against Inter de Limeira. Neymar didn't just score an Olympic goal. He made history once again. With his contract valid until June 2025, Neymar will have a big decision to make in the coming months. If he continues at Santos, he could become the club's biggest recent idol and consolidate his image as one of the greats in the history of Brazilian football. On the other hand, if he decides to return to Europe, he will still be able to compete for major titles on the continent. The fact is that Neymar is not in Brazil because his football level has dropped. On the contrary, he continues to be an absolute ace who plays on a shelf above the other athletes in the country. And if he chooses to return to Europe, he can still shine for a few more years at the highest level. The answer about his future is still open. But one thing is certain, Neymar still has a lot of football left to enchant the world.